I'm standing in front of the field and fen panels that were created for the Wetherspoon pub called the Whalebone in Downham Market. I was approached by the interior designer to make some decorative panels for one of the main bars in the pub. And we knocked around several ideas for a few months. The main thing about this pub is that it's a very old building and it's saturated with history, both local and national, and this is represented by a lot of the work that was on the walls. So I had to create something that would fit with that ethos. In discussion with the designer, we came up with the idea of working with my particular method of making bas-relief panels and his interest in Art Nouveau, and we looked at William de Morgan and decided to go with a sort of William de Morgan vibe for a creation of two panels that represent the area of Downham Market. So I've called the design Field and Fen, and one of the main panels is a hare and the other main panel is a heron, which represents of the two sides of the economy and the environment in Downham Market. You have the developed agricultural economy, and you also have the fen, the drained land and the wetlands. The panels themselves are created in a material called jasmonite, which is an environmentally kind resin. It's a water-based resin. And I chose to work in this material because I knew that I would be able to make pieces on a large scale that I could actually make hollow, so that we would be able to keep the weight down because the panels are actually quite large. Whatever material the final piece is cast in, it always starts with a lump of clay. So I create my original design in clay by a mixture of different techniques which involve carving and sculpting to create high reliefs and low reliefs. Then the clay panel or tile or design is covered with several layers of rubber, and when that's gone off, a rigid jacket is made to hold the rubber skin in place. The clay is then cleaned out of the mould and it's ready to cast. So the panels were cast. I used a laminating process, so the panels are actually cast hollow. They have several layers of rigid fibre in between the layers of jasmonite. So it's a very, very strong material, environmentally kind and very low rated for as a fire hazard, which obviously is very important for a public building. The panels were then tinted and painted with layers of pigment, which was built up gradually over a number of days, and the whole process from creation of the design to completion was around 6 to 8 weeks.